Thinking of building your dream home cinema? Don't know where to start? Start with the HCA. At the Home Cinema Alliance, we connect homeowners with the very best in the business. Our members are trusted designers, installers and technology experts who know how to turn any room into a breathtaking cinematic experience. Whether you're building from scratch or converting a spare room, our members are here to help you every step of the way. Visit our website to find your local member at homecinemalliance.co.uk.
Hi, and welcome to the Inside CI podcast for Tuesday, the 12th of May, 2026. I'm your host, Stuart Burgess, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Simon Gregory.
Good evening, Stuart. How are you?
I am very good, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been a little while since we've done one of these.
Yeah, I was looking on Riverside earlier, and I think it was about a month ago because we've had school holidays, we've had Easter, and we've both been flat out doing our stuff. Obviously, I've fully taken over Inside CI now, so I've now added another repertoire to my bow, which now means that I basically have no life.
You've been a very busy boy, and Inside CI is keeping you busy, and you've been travelling up and down the country, which I think we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, we'll get on to that later. So to start the podcast off, what have you been working on since we last podded? What have you been up to?
Well, believe it or not, Stuart, the sun has been out. And
hey.
it has been really warm, not necessarily over Easter, but I think towards the end of Easter, it was very, very sunny. And a lot of our clients that we've done garden audio for called us up saying, this isn't quite working, Simon, or that's not quite working, which you'd expect with speakers and amplifiers that are outside or sort of an outbuilding. So we've been doing that really. Lots of service calls regarding that. Some proof fishing TVs, trying to get those back working again. Because they've not been used since September time, I would say.
October, probably. Yeah,
it's been a while, but we're just trying to get those up and running again, ready for summer. So one garden audio system we worked on was based in Epping, overlooking the deer sanctuary. So it looked really good, swimming pool, lovely. One of the amps had blown, but it had been not outside, but an outbuilding for 9 years. So wow. It's done okay. And that was from Clips. And then we had some Paradigm outdoor garden speakers, but the ants decided to chew away at the waterproof sealant and the tape that we'd put on and the waterproof boxes, and got in there, and I unscrewed the speaker and literally just come out in my hand with nothing else attached. So there's some digging to be done and some replacement of speakers to be done as well. So the garden audio systems are well and truly on their way. And I think with this fuel crisis that is going on, that not many people will be going on holiday this year. And if you are, then fantastic. But if not, stay in your garden and have a garden entertainment system.
Well, I noticed on the news this morning, more and more airlines are cancelling. So you're not wrong. I think it's going to be almost like COVID again, where we can go somewhere, but we don't want to because it's too blinking expensive.
Yeah, 100%. So the lack of fuel and the cost is a double whammy. So save your money and get a nice garden audio system. That's what I say.
Well, and leading on to that, obviously we are literally a month away, is it, from the World Cup? So if you had any inquiries for gardens, because everybody likes to sit outside in the garden to watch the World Cup. I've no idea. I can't think of what time the games are going to be on over here, but are they very early in the morning? Or
for England, it's about 10 o'clock. I think for other nationalities, it's a bit later. So 2 o'clock in the morning, which obviously is not particularly great, but we are about 10 o'clock. But I've had some clients ringing up wanting a projector that they can put out in their garden. So the little portable ones that you can get, but none of the people we deal with actually sells them. So I sent him some information, but basically the brighter the better. I mean, this projector that the client found was about 3,500 lumens, which is pretty bright. The ones I did find were only about 2,000. So but hey, it will be dark by that time. But so if you see anybody outside watching the World Cup, that's one of my clients.
Yeah, well, it does seem to, for some reason, it's like a ritual, isn't it? To put almost put a bed sheet up in the garden with with a projector, a sound bar and some tinnies, regardless of what day it is, whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, we must watch our football.
Just don't scream and shout too loudly when somebody scores, or swear too loudly when the opponent scores against you. But yeah, so doing a lot of that. Obviously TVs as well. There's a lot of promotions now coming along for TVs for the World Cup. Hisense are doing a competition where you can win tickets if you buy a Hisense from them. LG have just brought out their new TVs as well. I think you can pre-order them. So the G6 range, the OLED series of that, and the C6s, their range of OLED TVs as well. So yeah, everybody's getting quite excited about those. What more do you want? A new TV for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think it was AWE. I got an email from this morning, and I clicked on there, had a quick look, and there was. I've got a 77-inch LG G4, I think it was, and I tempted with the 83-inch G3, but luckily they didn't have a price on it at the moment, because otherwise it may well be an awkward conversation with my wife. I mean, if they'd sent it yesterday, it was my birthday, so I could pull it off as a birthday treat. Probably still wouldn't have got it, but it's worth a try.
Well, happy birthday for yesterday. And yes, you could have treated yourself, but you snooze, you lose.
Yeah, tell me about it. So anything else you've been up to with your tools, being out and about, or is it just what we discussed as the paperwork?
Yeah, paperwork, service calls, as I say, trying to keep yourself busy. It's a pretty tough time out there for a lot of people, and all trades, I think, really. It's one company I spoke to the other day, so it's fallen off a cliff, is his exact words. And I've got an electrician who's a friend, and yeah, they're very quiet as well. So, but yeah, you just got to try and keep yourself busy, and yeah, just do service calls and ring older clients. That's what we've been doing, ring older clients who've got projectors and got the garden systems and older TVs that we installed 9-10 years ago. And yeah, most of them seem happy to do an upgrade. So there's always business out there to have, and obviously the dedicated cinemas that we're doing as well. They're always in the pipeline, but obviously things are a bit slowed down at the moment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, actually, I was going to bring this up in a minute, but I'll bring up a little post that our friends at Essential Install magazine put up a couple of weeks ago. They put up a little survey on LinkedIn, which was titled "Installers in the Smart Home AV and Automation. What's the biggest challenge in your business right now?" And they basically put 4 options, as you normally do. So option 1 was cash flow, pricing, margins. Second one was sourcing the right products. Third one was marketing and lead generations. And the fourth one was other. And then please let us know in the comment. What I found quite interesting, but yet wasn't a surprise, was literally all of them were almost about the same percentage. I mean, cash flow was 23%, sourcing the right products was 21%, marketing was 28%, and other was 28%, with the comments on other being shortage of great engineers in the AV, IT, and security. That was by Steve Moore, and by Andrew Fox was almost similar, which was basically finding staff. So I thought that was quite interesting. The fact that, they Essential Install magazine put this poll out, but it's such a split between everything that everybody's having issues. There doesn't seem to be a defining reason why, people are finding it hard at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting poll, actually. And I think if you could have ticked more than one, then you would. But as you said, due to the percentages, that obviously is the case. But I personally ticked the lead generation is what I ticked. So, but it could have been any of them. Others very interesting. Obviously, people are looking for good engineers and technicians and that kind of stuff. So, they're obviously people are looking for those kind of skilled workers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we have heard on the grapevine of people merging, people closing down recently. So there are, the other podcast I do with Steve is gaming, and it's the same in that industry where people are consolidating, people are, unfortunately losing their jobs. AI is coming in certain ways, so it's definitely it was definitely a time to get on LinkedIn and get into your get your resume up to date, just in case, because there are jobs out there. We are seeing jobs out there. It's just there's lots of people going for them.
Yeah, it's a few people in the industry have unfortunately lost their jobs due to restructuring. and things like that. But so in our industry, there's always a job to be had, and hopefully those people have got a job sooner rather than later. And yeah, we'll announce that news. Yourself? You've been driving up and down the country as usual.
Yeah, so well, the first thing is the Beckenham Cinema. That I have finished my side of it. We were brought in to build the room, so I'll put a picture up on the screen now. So we've gone in there and built the room out using Roddy's Cinema Build Systems framing, the coffer. It's a double coffer, and then also the wall framing as well. And then we used one of his new colours of hug fabric on the walls. And then we had some, like, I call them troughs, but the client didn't like me calling them troughs. But they're like wooden troughs on the wall, which sort of divide the fabric. And then when the electrician comes back, they're going to have some nice light fittings in it. And then seats are turning up. And then we've got you can see that we've got a Crix MX30 system in there, and then we've got a screen. I always get these confused. We've got a screen research masking screen going in. We've got Paradigm going in, so amplificate power amps and processors. Then I think we've got Mad VR going in, and then Surge X, and it's a full Pulse Cinemas job that we're doing. It's with another integrator, but we're pretty much doing the whole cinema because he's doing the Crestron side of it. So yeah, that's pretty much finished, and it's been quite nice to finish. It's well, I know you can see it now, but my hands have got blood coming from them. So I did put a bit of blood into that job.
Nice. The pictures you sent me, it did look a rather sexy room, but blood on that coloured fabric. What colour was it?
I think it's one of his very new fabrics. I think it's called Earth, I think. But it was a mixture of non-perforated and perforated, because obviously you put perforated over the speakers. And yeah, I mean, the ceiling was particularly hard. And actually, a shout out to Roddy. You are a blinking genius, my friend. I was really struggling with the ceiling, and I was, in all the cinemas I've done, I've wrapped, which is, a good, like, probably about 30, I would imagine. I've never done Roddy's fabric on the ceiling with Roddy's coffer. And what I just didn't think about was getting the tool in the coffer recess. And I'm like, what I should have done was made it a bit deeper, then I could have got the tool in. But of course, I just didn't think about that because I'd never done it before. Typical installer thing where, because you've not done it, you don't really compute it.
No, you're like, yeah, that's fine. I could do that.
And I was speaking to Roddy on the phone going, have you got any ideas on this? And we were tossing ideas around. And then he came out with the genius idea of going, well, why don't you just back wrap some 80mm MDF? So I worked out that the ceiling was going to be in 4 panels. And then I worked out, so sort of down the sides. And then I worked out across the back, it's going to be 3 panels, because obviously you've got the projector in the middle, and then you've got 2 panels left and right. So what I did was I mirrored the back look on the front, and then I mirrored the side either side. And yeah, what I basically did was I brought it out, I think it was about 100mm, wrapped the fabric. But so if anyone's never done it, what you do is you put like double-sided sticky tape on the back of the wood. You put the fabric on top. So you put the face of the wood down, and then you back wrap it over it, stick it, and then staple it. But what Roddy said, which worked really well, was you didn't do the front of it. You left that sort of dangling, for want of a better word. What that meant is then you could screw it to the ceiling through the wood, and then what you did was when you tracked the inside of it, that flappy bit of fabric went into the first bit of tracking, so you didn't have a black line around it. So
nice. Very clever.
That my friend was bloody genius. So and that's why I buy from him. And this is not a sponsored advert.
Exactly. That's why we use people like that in our industry to get you out of a jam that you got yourself into.
Yeah. And then the other thing was I've been to 2 events. So first event was a few weeks ago, was the Senior Business Summit in Manchester.
Is that the first one of the year? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the first one of the year. If my memory serves me rightly, we've got Edinburgh coming up in a few weeks as we record this. So as it goes out, it will be the next week or the week after. I can't remember now. So we've got, hold on a second, let me do my due diligence here and bring it up on the thingy. So we have Edinburgh on the 20th of May, and then we have Bristol, I think it is, on the 9th of June. And then in July, we have the 7th of July, we have London. So, and it was really, really good. I mean, hats off to everybody who came. There was, I think it was 29 exhibitors there.
I think the venue helped, did it not?
Not really. I mean, it was Man City. No one wants to go there.
They could have won the Premier League, and now they've blown that. So that's not going to happen. But no, it looked an amazing venue. I have to say, I was even though I'm not a Man City fan,
it was a stunning stadium. I mean, to stand there and look at it, and then obviously from the outside, it was impressive, less impressive, because at the end of the day, it's a stadium with car parks around it. But no, I mean, inside it was very impressive. So, but no, it was really good. It was good. I mean, it was nice to see some new faces. I mean, Ron from Kef was there. I put up a post today. They were showing off, funnily enough, they were showing off some garden audio that they've just released. So some garden speakers, which look really nice. And then, you know, you had some familiar names there, like you had the guys from Pulse Vision, as I call them. You had the guys from Rayco. You had the guys from Moss Tech with Nico, you know, Karma, 1AV, AWE. You had loads and loads of people there. Ian Morris, you know, he gets everywhere, that guy.
He does.
Yeah, so that was good. That was brilliant.
Was it a good turnout?
To be honest, it always seemed busy. It's always a bit hard to gauge unless you're looking at the figures. But people were always wandering and people were always talking. Now, was it as busy as London? No. I mean, London was heaving last year when I was there, but that's because it's London.
100%, yeah. I think what people have said before is it's not as busy, but you get chance to talk to who you want to talk to. I think with the London one, as you said, it is so busy that you want to talk to somebody, but they've got about 5 or 6 people around them, and you're like, oh, I come back. And each time you come back, there's more people around there. So it's pros and cons at the end of the day.
Well, the thing is, it was like, if you could talk to people, it's like, you know, like I call them the A-team, Jason and Damon from Ordus, because they are like, they have something for everything. You know,
they do.
They've always got loads of stuff out, and like Jason was showing me this really like small version of a Fox and Hound. So it was a generator and a receiver. So it was like 2 little like USB sticks, and you sort of something you can carry on you, and then put onto an HDMI to test the HDMI, but you haven't got to carry like a massive case with you, like a, you know, a massive fluke sized case or something like that. So, but I think you're right, for an event like Manchester, Edinburgh, Bristol, they're quite good when you want to sort of get, you know, down and dirty with the trades and have a good conversation with them. Say London is very, very busy, so you know there's lots of people vying for people's time.
They are, yeah. Eldos is like the Swiss Army knife of the industry, aren't they? It's something you think, oh, I really need that, or I don't need that, but you never know when you might actually require such a unique tool like that. So that's, but yeah, no, sounds good. And anything on the RP32 or anything like that, or
not that I noticed. I mean, there was because it's a business conference, it's more business related topics. So it wasn't so much about standards and things like that. I think the standards they pretty much save for, you know, ISE, and obviously we've got the CEDIA Expo in Denver coming up in September. And I think they might even be doing a little bit at EI Live, I'm not sure. But no, I think it was very much like business related stuff, because it is a sort of tech and business summit. Talking of Ordus, I did go up to Jason's pub. I never realised Jason had a pub, and
it looks a very nice pub.
It's a bloody nice pub. It is it is the type of pub that I said to my wife and the other Simon, the one that we both borrow. It's the sort of place you would definitely go for a meal whenever, like with your mum and dad. It's a beautiful place. So
was this their open day they did? Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, it was an open event for a new brand they've taken on. So basically we had sort of like, Jason's got like an outdoor gazebo. I mean, a gazebo's an understatement. It's a gazebo with a bar in it and tables and all this lot. So
nice.
It's basically, I mean, Damien was telling me how they had to expand the pub during COVID to, you know, be able to open, but not be inside where there wasn't any airflow, you know, back in those COVID days. So Orders have taken on a brand called Outer Labs or Alter Labs.
Okay.
And it's the only way of really describing it is it's quite a few of the guys are ex-Ubiquity. So they were heavily involved in a lot of elements with Unify and Ubiquity. And what they've done is they've created a brand which is very similar in respects of the essence of it. Networking, not like door entry and cameras and all that lot, but just some really good, switches, one router or router, one router, one router. They're releasing a rear facing switch because they've listened to the AV guys, because obviously the IT guys like silver and front facing, the AV guys like black and rear facing.
Yes, they're a pain in the backside. They are when you try and shut the door or a cupboard door. Then those cables are in the way. You're like,
But they had some really good little solutions. So they had some really good little solutions where they were easy to install, they were easy to adopt, they could all be done via your app on your phone, really nice and straightforward. And then they had some really cool, I'll see if I could bring it up, I can't remember what it was called, let me just bring my other screen down. They just had some really good ways of doing deployment. So they basically do you know what, I'm not going to be able to find it now. They had it was just the way you logged into it and the way you did the cloud management on it. It was so simple to do for each project. And then they basically had like a really good way of deploying Wi-Fi. So it was almost, giving everybody the same access to the Wi-Fi, but without having to use multiple SSID keys. So it was almost like one login. But they then basically gave you access to different ways of getting into it. So you could quite easily, lock down a children's network. You could quite easily lock down a guest network, but you didn't have to go in and keep on, doing lots of like reconfiguration. No, I was really, really impressed with it. And
nice.
more importantly, unlike, Unify, unfortunately, I'm going to say it, you actually make some profit out of this stuff. It wasn't expensive, but so it's the sort of price you look at and go, okay, that's a good price. And it basically, and you make some margin out of it, which obviously is important for, us integrators.
That's what you want, profit and reliability. We don't ask for much, but that's all we want, profit and reliability, which you don't always get nowadays. But that sounds really good, and I hope that's successful for those guys.
Yeah, well, you say reliability. They do have like on tap phone support, so there's someone to talk to. It was called Outer Pass, so it's configured unlimited passwords, effortless scale to thousands of users, secure guest Wi-Fi, limited uploads of speeds. You can limit that. You can decide VLANs. You can create schedules, but it just is what they tout as like one SSID, with multiple different ways to assign it. And then also, which I thought was really good, was we always like a freebie. So they also do a training program which was called Basecamp. So that's online training and in-person training. But then they also do an incentive. So basically, if you use them, you spend money with them, you do get a rebate, which is paid back to you. Nice. And then also they do trips every year. So basically, it's called it's called the Outer Summit program. So this is all on their website. So if you just Google Outer Labs, basically, if I can find it now, there you go. So they do different tiers. So they basically do, if you're tier 4 and you've installed 50 units, you can get up to £100 cash back, but you could also get a rewards trip entry. So what they do is they will basically take people away as a thank you for doing their products. So it's one of those classic cases where between 1 and 4, it's 50 to 1,000 units installed, and you get between 1 and 4 trip award entries, and you get 100 cash back up to £10,000 cash back.
Nice. It's like the good old days. I used to do that when I was in retail. Basically, Pioneer did that. So when the Kuru plasma come out that they did an incentive like you just mentioned. But yeah, you got a cash back. I think you sold a telly and you got 20-30 quid or whatever it was, and you sold enough, then you got a trip away. But was it CES took people to Vegas if they
I think it was, yeah.
if they sold enough products from their company? But yeah, I think it's a really good idea, and yeah, more people should do it. There we go.
Well, going back to my retail days when I was just out of college and I was working for Victoria Wine. I mean, I got a free trip to Portugal by selling loads of port to my clients.
Where is the trip anyway? Do they say that?
They change it every year, so I think
not like Southend or something. It's like
well, no, they're a Californian company, I think. So the last trip they did, I think, was to Cancun.
Excellent. Get selling.
I mean, I'll put a link in the description and a QR code up on the screen now. So go and have a look because, you know, obviously, and this is not paid. I'm getting no money for this. I was really, really impressed, especially as I've just sort of been looking at Ubiquity and doing some stuff for Ubiquity. It was just a little bit more, I hate to say it, it's a little bit more integrator friendly. And obviously the most important thing for us as integrators, we make some money out of it.
Yeah, no, which is always good. And any cool news we will promote. So
yep, definitely. So right. So we're going to get onto the news. Before we get onto the news, don't forget you can comment, review, and subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you're watching or listening to. Also, the platform that we use to host the podcast for us have now embraced Apple video platforms. So this podcast you can watch on YouTube, but you can also watch it on Apple Podcasts in video as well. And also, they've added a new little feature to it, which is you can leave us a voice memo. So if you look at the comments of the podcast or the comments on YouTube, I'll put a little link in there. And what you could do is you could actually leave us a question. So if you've got a question to ask us and you want your dulcet tones to be broadcasted to the world on this podcast, click on the link, leave us a message, and we can answer your question and then basically interact a little bit more with the people who are listening to this podcast.
Is this where we can get rid of some of our merchandise, Stuart? The best question or the funniest message wins a cap or a Meridian T-shirt, something like that? I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to build up my stash, let's say. The only thing I am realizing by entering this world of promotion and publishing is how merch works with a lot of our distributors, and a lot of our distributors have invoices attached to merch, shall we just say. So if you are a manufacturer listening to this, then please reach out, because what we're trying to do is give away some of your merch in return for a free shout out. And yeah, if you interact with this podcast, leave a comment, leave a review or something like that, then we'll do a draw and, you know, draw some bits and pieces out. We've also just started a group on LinkedIn. So if you go on LinkedIn and search Inside CI, you can follow the news channel, but then you can also follow the group. And then another thing, and actually one of the things that I've sort of like been looking at with Inside CI is that I sort of inherited on the current website we've got is a directory. So David created a Inside CI directory, which I thought was really, really useful. So I've gone through it and had a bit of a clear out, and I'm trying to get brands and, you know, manufacturers, distributors involved in it and integrators. So you can sign up for it. There is a charge. I'm not going to lie, but, you know, reach out and we can talk you through it. But I don't know about you, Si, but I go on a lot of forums and a lot of platforms, and I quite often see, do you know who distributes this? Do you know who distributes that? Do you know where I can get this from? Do you know where I can get that from? So what we've done is we've not only listed manufacturers and distributors by manufacturers and distributors, we're not only going to list the products by type, so let's say speakers, amplifiers, projector screens, but first and foremost at the top of the website are the brand names. So if you click on, let's say, Fox and Hound, it will ping up and show you who sells Fox and Hound. If you click on Amina, it will flash up and tell you who's distributor for Amina. Barco, lots of other brands. I mean, we've got loads and loads of brands on already. So I just thought it, for me as me as an integrator looking at Inside CI was like, do you know what? That's a really useful platform where I can go, oh, who distributes October these days? Click on it, and then it's there. It tells me straight away who distributes it, and I can reach out and give them a call.
It's such a great tool, as I said to you before. It's I bet you had a few manufacturers that either disappeared or were no longer selling that product on that little database you had. But I think it's very important. We had a client called us the other day, wanted some KEF speakers for his West Wing, and he was trying to install it himself and wanted our help, etc., etc. But a lot of, I think on one of the forums we had as well, who now distributes KEF, or is it direct? And nobody really knew. So I think you gave us Ron's details, and we're now a direct account with them. But without either you knowing or your database, we could have got on there, clicked on KEF, who's selling KEF direct, call this number, set yourself up an account. Little things like that just makes life so much easier. Like Cricks, for instance, obviously, just changing and going to CAVD. So little things like that not everybody would have known or might not know about, but they could go on your website, click on that, and on the Inside CI website, and away you go. You know exactly who to contact and what to sell.
Well, I can remember talking to the guys at Pulse and saying, yeah, I know I can ring you and get a price, but I do my quotes, or did my quotes, on a Saturday or Sunday. You're not there. So, this was back before they obviously got together with Midwich or Envision, and then they didn't have the website. But, for me to be able to do a quote on a Sunday and go, oh, this client's asked for cords, cables, let's say. Who distributes cords now? You click on there and it takes you to the distributor or distributors that, can supply you cords. So it's a bit, there's quite a few products on there at the moment, but as you're right, I had to delete a load of stuff off.
Who's selling Pioneer TVs?
Yeah, it's Pioneer plasmas and things like that. So I've cleared a load of stuff off. We want basically more people to come on there. Also, there is a space on there for integrators. So what I also want to do is, obviously Inside CI does see end users as well. So we are going to put on there, non-trade related services. So someone's looking for a cinema designer or an electrician or an installer for smart homes or a network engineer, we're going to add that. So if you're listening to this and you are an integrator, do reach out, email me at hello@insideci.com, because, we do want to add, professional bodies on there, as well as, manufacturers and distributors, because also, as we find out, in our group with HCA, sometimes, our Simon is now doing some work for Kevin and Angus at New Wave as well, because sometimes you're busy and you need people to help you. So actually, to go on there and go, oh, I need an electrician, click, where's an electrician in, I know, Basingstoke. Oh, he's in Basingstoke. I wonder if he'll do it. It's just trying to get a database which is integrator friendly. And, as I say, being an integrator for 20 years, I'm trying to look at it as an integrator as quick as possible and easy to find somebody.
Yeah, it's a great little tool. And as you say, it's you being an integrator and me being an integrator, it's you see it from the other side rather than somebody who's trying to write news and do interviews and things like that. So, but no, looking forward to seeing that when it's all up and running.
Right, getting into the news. The first news story is with you about a new Denon receiver.
Yeah, very exciting. It's a brand new AVR, the S980. But what I think makes this quite a unique amplifier, it's not all singing, all dancing. That's probably the best way to describe it. So it's built for movies and games is what it's trying to say. But what you can do, it has a flatbed audio of 5.1 or 7.1. So if you can't do Dolby Atmos and it's not a big room, so a dedicated cinema, maybe not more of a media room or a small cinema room. So you have a flatbed audio of 5.1 or 7.1, or you can configure it to 5.1.2. So the spatial audio doing the Atmos for that, if you can get the speakers in the ceiling. So if you can't, then a 5.1 system or 7.1 system. So it does all you need to do. It's got the 4K 120 hertz, which is really good, 8K sources, obviously eARC built into that as well. But what I really did like about this, and this is not out straight away, it's a firmware update sometime in the future, but with their new Dead and Home HEOS based system, because obviously there's HEOS built into this amplifier as well. They've got the little, I don't know if you see them, the little sort of bookshelf HEOS 200s, 400s, 600s. But this will do wireless surrounds. So we've actually got a client who's got quite a big living room. So there's a fireplace, which we're going to build the wall out. I think you're going to help us with that and do a little fabric system on the front wall with a nice big TV. But to get speakers to the back of the room or in the middle of the room, because it's a very big room, is pretty tricky. But if you had this little amplifier that could do wireless surrounds, the 200 and 400s, that could tick the box very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect little, say little, I mean, it's it looks to have a recommended retail price of $7.99. I did have a look. I'm not sure if it's on AWE's website yet, but I looked last week or the week before. I can't remember when this story went up on the website. So 28th of April, Steve put it up, and it wasn't there yet. But yeah, as you say, for almost my lounge downstairs, which I'm currently running as a 5.1 for a dead-on amp, I can quite easily put this one in and actually make it a nice little 5.1.2 because I don't need anything more than that because it's a relatively small room. I haven't got the sidewalls for a 7-point system. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great, it's Wi-Fi, it's Bluetooth, it's got AirPlay 2, and it's room ready as well. There's nothing to dislike about it, and as you say, yeah, to be able to use the down on home 200, 400, or 600 speakers as wireless surrounds, especially if you're, if you've done a nice little cabinet with some speakers and a TV, and you've done all the cabling, and then the client says, "Oh, I want to add, I want to make my 2-channel system into a surround sound system." You can add a center speaker quite easily, but you're like, "Oh, I can't get the cables now to the rears. I've got a couple of plugs there, so actually, yeah, let's use the dead on home speaker."
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good amplifier. So even just thinking about it, I've got a 11-channel Integra amplifier in my living room, but I've only got 5.1, so I can't get Atmos because the kids are above that room, and trying to get cables up there is impossible. Obviously, I've got surround rear speakers, which is fine, but I don't actually need an 11-channel amplifier. So something like this, 5.1 or say 5.1.2 little system would do nicely. When I get like the wireless rears as well, then yeah, that helps with cabling. So yeah, no, a very nice little product.
The next story is with me. Now I always struggle with this name. It's Lithe, isn't it?
Lithe.
I always want to say Leith, but
no, not Leith. We interviewed them at ISE this year, and I think on YouTube, it's got quite a high number of views.
Well, I think it's a cool. I'll be brutally honest with you. It's the sort of product that I would have looked at a few years ago and go, "What? That's not a proper speaker system."
Well, why?
But, I've got to know the guys, and actually, I got the story behind them as well. But what this cool little product? So I'll read this product off of, you guessed it, Inside CI's website. It's like Lithe Audio adds Ethernet distribution to PoE speakers as a bolt-on platform. So Lithe Audio has expanded the capabilities of its patented PoE Bluetooth platform with the addition of combined power and network over a single cable. A move is aimed squarely at simplifying infrastructure requirements for custom installers. Designed for the company's Pro Series ceiling speakers, the upgrade modules enables both power and Ethernet through one PoE++ cable, reducing the need for separate cabling runs to in residential or commercial projects. The original PoE bolt-on delivery PoE++ input with power pass-through, allowing Lithe Audio Pro Series speakers to be powered by one Cat6 cable, eliminating the need for local mains cables. Where it gets good is the enhanced module introduces the important upgrades designed by now adding an Ethernet output alongside the PoE++ input. This practically means that a single PoE++ cable, should you say PoE now, PoE cable can simultaneously power a speaker and deliver a live network connection, reducing what was previously a 2-run power and network into one.
Oh no, it's very clever, almost genius. You think, oh, I don't need that, but actually you do. And to say you want to see more of that, it's on the on the web on the YouTube accounts that we have. It's got 2,300 views, so that's pretty good going. But yeah, you want to see the guys at Live Audio and their new PoE information, then yeah, it's all on the video as well. But yeah, no, great little product from those guys.
Yeah, excuse the boom, 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 boom in the background, but someone was decided to play speakers very, very, very loudly at the same time, didn't they?
It was the end of the day, and yeah, it was party time. Beers were flowing, and yeah, it came out really well. But yeah, no, great little podcast. Sorry, a little video of that.
Yeah, so this story is obviously on the Inside CS website, so go and have a look. It's right at the top because it is a lot longer than the 3 paragraphs I just read, and it's got lots of key informations in there, like distances up to 100 meters, supports up to 10 speakers. So please go and have a read on that because it is a very, very good little article, and the guys are great there. Got a lot of time for them. The next story is with our friends at Cinema Lux, and it's with you.
Yes, Cinema Lux boys. Shout out to them. They've joined up with the Faraday Group, and they've moved into Harrods. They're on the 5th floor of Harrods, which it's yeah, a very well. I don't know the last time you went to Harrods, but it's still pretty crazy. But a playground for lots of electronics and things like that, and lots of nice food. But yeah, they've got part of the Faraday Club. They've got a live arena audio specialist of Acoustics are in there, so we know those guys really well, and obviously they've got a really great demo facility in Highgate. But obviously they're now in Harrods to get more eyes on the product, and yeah, they've collaborated with Cinema Lux. So they've done the interior design. I think it's a 60 grand's worth of worth of installation, and Kaleidoscape in there and everything like that. But it's a 12 speaker Dolby Atmos system, which obviously completely hidden. So all behind Cinema Lux's Fabric Track system. Got Control 4 in there as well, and some very nice fancy sofas, as you would expect from Harrods. But yeah, they've joined up with those guys, and that looks pretty impressive. So I need to go and see that as soon as.
Yeah, don't take the wife because she'll bankrupt you if you take her to Harrods. So 12 Dolby Atmos speakers, or 12 Dolby Atmos capable speakers. I mean, I know the video we did for Acoustics and Homeplay in London. Those speakers are like 100 millimeters, 100 millimeters cross. So they are tiny.
They are tiny.
But the sound you get from them, and if you're an integrator, listen to this, then try and go to Highgate and see that. If you're an end user listening to this, then reach out to a HCA member on the homecinemaalliance.co.uk because it is a stunning facility, and I question anybody who goes there who has got a client that wants a brilliant system or an end client who can afford the entry level price to it.
Yeah, speak to Nick or Simon, and they'll have, or the HCA members, and go down there. But it's one of the best installs best system demos that I've ever been to. To be fair, it's so unique as well. It's not like you stand and sit there and listen to Lady Gaga singing for the 1,000th time. It's a completely unique experience, and it's so immersive. It goes from watching a movie, listening to some music, having a concert. Just it's a complete experience for you, which is what it should be. So they've now managed to do that at Harrods. So get yourself down there and have a listen.
And also, we've just had is it Smart Home Expo in Mumbai, which I saw a lot of our friends are out.
Yes, they are. It is the place to be, Mumbai in India. So Cinema Lux have just announced that they're doing Cinema Lux India. So good luck with that. And I saw a lot of our friends over there as well, Acoustic and everybody. So I think Mumbai, India is the new place to be.
Well, I spoke to, I think it was yesterday, was it? I spoke to Mike Beattie on WhatsApp, and he was like, "Mate, you've got to go to it next year. It's unbelievable. It really is the new hotness." He said the people are amazing. He said the place is amazing. The show was amazing. So
yeah, we met a few people from Singapore and India in IC, didn't we? So very nice gentlemen, and had a nice chat with those guys. And they said, anytime, come over and we'll look after you. So yeah, no, we'll love to go out there and film next year.
So are Cinema Lux producing it in the UK still, then shipping it out to India?
From what I believe, yep. So they've got a representative, from what I can tell, based in India, and the products will all still be built in-house in the UK, in Marks Tay, Essex, and yeah, obviously their level of quality and expertise is second to none. So I assume that'll then be built to fit, shipped out, and away you go. And then somebody obviously in India who's qualified and Cinema Lux trust will install that for you. Obviously, they've got dealers out there as well who will obviously all be trained and can install that, I suppose, as and when to work with all their equipment. But yeah, no, one by, here we come.
Yeah, no, well done to the guys at Cinema Lux. It's been quite good knowing them, and they're on a great journey. So excellent. Right. So next story is another product moving around. So our friends at Match Distribution adds waterfall audio to their premium brand portfolio. So again, reading from our beloved Inside CI website.
There's a trend here.
Yeah, well, there is. It's like I got to promote my own stuff. Actually, in all seriousness, I have noticed, obviously, what generally happens now is, Steve is the editor of the website. So Steve is going to put the article up, and then I let Steve put the article up because he either gets the press release or I get the press release, or we both get the press release. So Steve puts the article up, and then he obviously writes it, as a journalist would with a press release. But then I noticed that, our friends at Hidden Wires, our friends at Essential Install, and our friends across Europe and the globe are all pretty much put the same story up. So you could probably go and find this same story at Hidden Wires, or you can find the same story at Essential Install, but you might as well come and find it us.
But Stuart, there is only one Steve May. So...
Well, there is, exactly. There's only one Steve May.
It's his fault that he's put it up on Inside CI, so go and read it on Inside CI.
So, right, getting back to the article. So, yeah, Match Distribution has been appointed the exclusive distributor of waterfall audio across the UK and Ireland, extending the French brand's presence in the custom installation market. The agreement will see Match introduce and support waterfall audio speaker portfolio across both territories, targeting integrators, installers working across high-end residential and luxury audio. Founded in 1996, Waterfall Audio has carved out a distinctive position in the upper echelons of the loudspeaker market through its use of tempered glass cabinetry, which is stunning to look at, and a minimalist industry design. No one quite makes a speaker like Waterfall. So, I mean, I've come across them quite a bit in my time. Actually, funnily enough, there was a guy in Hastings, I can't remember what the business is called now, but he was distributing at one point because he wanted me to buy his business. He was more commercial, but so that wasn't what I did. But yeah, so no, another brand moving around. So yeah, Match have got Waterfall.
Yeah, no, I started selling Waterfall probably 98 when I started in retail, and I remember the first time I saw them, just these beautiful glass speakers. We were used to obviously selling wood speakers from Kerf and Ruark and Riga and Lynn and that kind of stuff, but they were beautiful to look at. They sounded amazing. Nadine is fantastic. If you never met Nadine, then yeah, please go up and say hello to her. She is lovely. They always do some great champagne at some events as well, so that's always worth a chat and grabbing a free glass of champagne. But so Mark obviously is part of Match, and they are now distributing those. So yeah, that's a great acquisition for those guys. Again, we filmed them at ISE, didn't we, for some of their products that they sell at Match now. But yeah, I think their portfolio is coming along nicely at Match.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them at IC, but I also saw them at EI Live last year, and I was quite impressed with the sort of portfolio. They are reasonably new. I mean, I think we were talking to Mark at ISE 2025 when he was just sort of, I think he had the business cards printed for ISE 2025, but the company wasn't really founded. But I don't know, I suppose in a little bit like the way that, you know, I'm coming into Inside CI as an integrator, you know, Mark has been around, you know, in the industry for quite a long time. He's been involved in many, many different brands, and now he's got the opportunity to do something new with Match. So yeah, you know, really happy for them. They've got some great little products, and Waterfall, you know, is a good brand to bring on there and fits a couple of spaces that they probably had before.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So they've got some really nice brands on board. So yeah, have a chat with Mark, and he'll be happy to help you. Or you can find it on your new database.
Yeah, I don't think he's on there yet. I've not tapped him up, so I'll give him a shout tomorrow.
Tap him up
if you're listening.
Yep.
So got to keep the lights on somehow. So the one other thing I'm just going to briefly touch on was our good friend Randy reached out to us today from Mac Speakers, and made me aware of an event that Pulse Cinemas are putting on together with them and Trinoff Audio. So they're putting on 2 dates. Now it's extremely limited. So they're putting on 2 dates at Pulse Cinemas on the 9th of June and in Vision House on the 10th of June. If you want to look at it and register, go to Pulse Cinemas on LinkedIn. All the information's there. But the reason I'm bringing this up is that it just sounded quite cool. So
it's
I'll
a
read
groundbreaking event, Stuart. You forgot to mention groundbreaking.
It's a groundbreaking. Well, it's one of those things that the only time I can put that I've been to something like this was actually when Kef opened the gallery and they were playing they're playing Ziggy Stardust album, which had just been remastered into Dolby Atmos. So we were sitting in the big cinema at the gallery in London with the big muons at the front of it, and it was listening to David Bowie, listening to Ziggy Stardust, but in full immersive audio. So what Pulse are doing is, I'll read this. It's basically, we're proud to present the unmissable showcase from Justin Gray, featuring his Grammy-winning Immersed album delivered using Trinoff's audio technology. Join us in June for a rare opportunity to experience the album in its tended delivery through immersive spatial audio, bringing together all 38 international artists. Immersed is a fusion of music, film, and storytelling grafted into a deeply engaging and developing experience. I just really sort of looked at it and thought, do you know what? I've been to and this is no disrespect to anybody, I've been to so many demos where we see Lady Gaga and, you know, and the opening scene to Queen and all this lot. And actually, when Randy said to me, I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'm on my way back from the Senior Summit in Bristol that day, because that would have been the day before. So, right, yeah, I'm going to pop along to Vision House and have a look at this, because I think Dolby Atmos is brilliant for movies, but if you've not listened to music on Dolby Atmos, you are missing out. Music, Dolby Atmos was made for music.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I've said that for a long time, and I can't believe it took so long for music to actually be developed for Dolby Atmos. I mean, as Pulse describe it, this is not a demo, it's an experience. So yeah, you've got the Grammy award-winning cinematic album for spatial audio, place you at the center of a 360-degree orchestra. So something like that. And we kind of experienced that at ISE, didn't we, with L-Acoustics, when they're doing their DJ, and you had the guy with the musical instrument. Wasn't the violin? Was it cello? Cello.
So it's a cello, and then the DJ pulls out a guitar at the end of it, which was just amazing.
You're just so immersed in it. It's just doing something completely different. You haven't got the same standard demo sitting down and say, yeah, that sounds good, and you know, I've heard better, or I've heard worse, or yeah, that's slightly louder, or the explosion's slightly better, etc., etc. Something like this is an experience, and that's where I think we now need to move to make it more of an experience for clients and for installers as well, really, because we've all done this for quite a number of years, and you want to be enthusiastic about it. It's the client, but if you're not, and you're just sitting there and watching Transformers for the 1,000th time, for instance, you're not going to be that excited with the client. So little things like that, or big things like that, really, I think making an experience for you, the installer, and the end client, I think is very, very important in this day and age.
it's also from an integrator's point of view and from a client, it's a good sales. Like I know when we had the showroom, we always started off with music, so we would play them some music, no screen. So it may be like Gregory Porter, no picture on the screen in Atmos. Then we turn the screen on, and then we maybe play some Gregory Porter, but a live track filmed, somewhere, and then that would then move on to movies, and then end up with a full, balls out action movie, reaching 115 to 120 dB at the end of it. But
you can relate to music, can't you? That's the thing. You know what a drum sounds like. You know what a guitar should sound like. You don't know what an explosion in space sounds like. Well, actually, you shouldn't hear anything, but that's by the by. But a big, loud explosion, not many people have experienced that, and you don't really want to. But if you've been to a live concert or an event, you know when it sounds like a good system. So when you hear it on a decent system and it sounds really, really clear, Gregory Porter's voice, etc., you're like, wow, that sounds really, really good. So yeah, no, it's my birthday that day, so I'm not sure I'll be going. I might be getting whisked away for a special birthday treat, but if not, I will be there.
So that's the Pulse day, because there's no way you're driving to Bracknell.
No, Pulse, definitely. half an hour away instead of an hour and a half away. It's much closer.
I think if I ever see you in a Vision House in Bracknell, I think I'll have a heart attack.
I did it once. It was a long way to go, I have to say. But,
long way to go and come back.
And come back's the worst. Like 3 hours to get back for me. So yeah. So either of those, yeah, sign up, and yeah, but spaces will go fast, I can tell.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the end of the news we're going to read out. There are loads of news articles which we've put up in the last few weeks. So we've got stuff on there. Armour Home appoints Charlie Henderson as managing director. That is literally fresh today as we're recording.
I thought that was another Charlie at one point. I had to double read that it was Charlie Henderson.
Oh, did you?
Not another Charlie.
Yeah, we still don't know where that Charlie's gone yet. He did speak to me the other day, but he won't tell me.
He won't tell. He's going somewhere.
Yeah, and then we've got a Xiaoling debuts advanced Android M390 streamer DAC. Cedia have created a new department which aims at connecting members to designers. Wharfdale adds a centre speaker to its retro heritage line. Lervet acquires French luxury outfit Cabas. Jamo loudspeakers, Jamo and Wharfdale in one podcast. Did you ever think this would happen?
Not in a million years. No, it feels like I've gone back in time.
Jamo loudspeakers prepares for an industrial comeback at the high-end Vienna show, and Samsung debuts a premiere. You get ready? 14-meter wide Onyx Cinema LED display screen. And it's mainly for commercial, not for residential, because that's one big house.
That'll fit in my living room, no problem. I was quite concerned about the Hisense one. That's 136 inch for 100K, and I thought, oh, that'd be nice. That'd fill my wall very well. But yeah, trying to get that in the house, I'm not quite sure how that would happen. But that's a big screen.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? It's like the prices are coming down on those bigger screens. I mean, 77s and 85 OLEDs are achievable. Then you do jump still up to like the 90 and 100 inches, 130 and all that lot. They are still quite expensive. So,
well, the 110 inch is only 13K from Hisense, which is not bad.
I'll take two and put them next to each other.
But all that news can be found on Inside CI. So we can...
on Inside CI, and I will put up a QR code now for you to scan. But but also don't forget you can get your weekly news from Inside CI directly to your inbox every workday, Monday or Tuesday if it's bank holiday morning. So it will be a roundup of all of the news that you might have missed through the week because you've been busy installing. So I'll put a QR code on the screen now, link in the description. So go and sign up. There's some great little bits and pieces on there. And also, if you are part of the mailing list, when I get some merch out of some of the suppliers, and I have to speak to David, I'm bound to get some Trin-off stuff out of him. When we do get some merch out of it, then we'll include anybody who signed up to the newsletter in the prize draw for that. So that's it. So, thank you, Simon, for podding. Thank you for taking your time.
More than welcome.
if you want to catch up with us, you can head over to insideci.com, Inside CI News on most platforms, or Inside CI. And if you want to get involved with the podcast, then leave a message, leave a comment, or you can email hello@insideci.com. Also, don't forget, again, you can leave a voicemail in the pod link. So if you've got a question for the show, do leave the question. I'll be honest, I ain't going to read all of them out or play all of them, because some of them are probably not things I'm going to want to put on here.
Some are going to be rude. I can tell you that for nothing. Even I might leave a dirty message. Is Seymour Butts there?
I don't give them Simpsons ideas. That's all I'm going to get. Simon, where can people find you on your internets and websites and socials?
So, Simon, I can be found, and Cinema Rooms can be found on all the socials. So, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're also doing a bit more on YouTube as well now. So, we obviously did the case study with Redline. So, we've done we've done some videos for that, and there's also a video on there of Martin and I having a bit of a chat about their white glove service and how they can help the industry and the HCA members and what they offer. So yeah, generally that's where we can be found. But yeah, give us a call, give us a chat on, and obviously the website as well. The new website is looking good, and we're adding news to that regularly as well now. So yeah, that's cinema-rooms.co.uk.
Excellent. Right. Well, the next podcast should be the 26th of May. But I think that's correct. Should be the 26th of May, but I'm going to be in France. So
sounds like half term to me. So
well, that's to be honest, that's when it goes up. So we're going to have to. We'll probably look at week starting the 18th to do a recording before we both go off to half term holidays. So. But thank you, Simon. Thank you for everybody who listened and contributed to this podcast. To say, if you want to get in touch with us, please click on the links in the description below or email hello@insideci.com. We've got lots of stuff coming up, loads of great ideas whizzing around this brain for this new platform I have my hands on. So, Simon, thanks for your time, and thank you for everybody who listened.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.